So once again, I welcome you all to the masterclass series by Pragmatic Leader. Today, the topic for today's masterclass is Cross the Chasm, Product Manager to Product Leader. I'm so glad to see you all here. Before we start today's session, I'd like to give you all a brief about Pragmatic Leaders. We built Pragmatic Leaders as a bridge for mid-career technology professionals to confidently change roles or careers. At Pragmatic Leaders, you're a part of a global family of aspirational professionals who are in aspirational professionals who proactively help each other and are invested in each other's career growth. We offer the pay after placement program in product management, which is completely online and case study based for working professionals who are looking to transition into product roles and for professionals looking to upskill into product management. With 79% placement rate, our students are placed at product managers at brands like Walmart, PayPal, Paytm, Amazon, LimeRoad, and other reputed brands with an average 50% salary hike. For more details, you can reach out to our website, that is www.pragmaticleaders.io. And our speakers for today's session are experienced product leaders who brings in 16 plus years of work experience. Today we have Praveen Patankar sir, Director of Product Management at HighRadius, Rono Jacob, Director of Product Management at Dhruva, Nagendra Gururaj, Director of Product Management at Talview. We welcome you all, and we are really excited to have you all as speakers with us tonight. So before we get started, I want to introduce some housekeeping rules. So if you have questions during the session, please type them into the chats window. And you can also raise your hands to ask your questions directly. We will take 1-2 questions related to the session's topic once the speakers are done with their presentation. And we also have a Q&A session at the very end where all our 3 speakers will be participating to answer your questions. With this note, we can begin the masterclass with the first session, the role of product manager in digital transformation with Praveen Patankar. So he brings in 16 plus years of experience in product management and project management, delivering innovative product to solve business problems and growing existing products at a global scale. As I mentioned earlier, he's working as Director of Product Management at HighRadius. And previously, he has worked in product space with companies like Blue Yonder and JDA Software. He also managed a multi-million-dollar project portfolio at Cognizant Technology Solution for a Fortune 500 retailer in US. So without any further ado, I'd like to hand over the session to Praveen sir. Please, Praveen sir, please go ahead.
Hey, thank you, Priyanka. Can you guys hear me well? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Yes, we can hear you.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks a lot. First of all, thank you everyone for taking the time out on Saturday evening. Okay, I know all of us are, have a lot of professional and the personal commitments, but you guys taking time out.
Exactly how I figured it from my place.
Okay, yeah, so going back, yeah, I think let's start the session. Okay, I just want to make sure that, okay, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to stop me at any time. And as Priyanka mentioned, we have another 30 minutes or so towards the end of the session to also take the questions for you might have for my segment or Nagendra or the Reno segment as well. Okay, so let me share my screen and we'll get started. All right, can you see my screen?
Oh, yes,
yes, we can.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, thanks, Priyanka. All right, then let's get started. Okay, so the part that I'm going to talk about today is essentially what is the digital transformation essentially. Okay, and then what is the role that the product manager and the product leaders play in making or leading that digital transformation. Okay. We hear a lot of jargons around the digital transformation, IoTs, and the machine learning and the artificial intelligence, etc. But then, what does it really mean? Okay, for the product manager to be part of that digital transformation journey. Okay, and what are the opportunities? What are the skills that we need? Okay, so to begin with, okay, or in terms of the agenda, I would like to really keep it brief, okay, and I will be more than happy to drill down into a particular section or answer your questions if you have any. So let's look at what is a digital transformation first. Then we'll break down the role of the product leader in making that or leading that digital transformation. Okay, and very important part of the product leader is building the right team for that kind of transformation, because it's not only you building the product, but it's essentially working with the sales and the operations and the different cross-functional teams to be able to make the impact on the business outcomes. Right. So, what are the key characteristics of those teams who can make this happen? Okay, and finally, I'm an avid reader. Okay, I would like to also suggest some readings for you guys as well. Okay, if you want to take this or in general the product management subject forward. Okay, so let's start with the an overview of the digital transformation. Okay, so as you can understand, the business transformation is nothing but a change management. And that too, the change management to the fundamentals of the business, right? So fundamental changes that changes the way the business works. Okay, it changes the entire paradigm in which the business operates. Okay, and the objective of such changes are essentially to make your personal processes and the technology to compete better, okay, or be more efficient in the market. Right, so we see a lot of companies going through the business transformations as they become more incompetent, so to say, or they lose their way in terms of the innovation or the customer value or different business challenges that they face. Right, so that's what the business of transformation is. Okay, now you'd be astonished to see the drastic changes that the business undergo in order to survive. Okay, a good example is audio. Okay, I don't know how many of you had heard of this company. Okay, but this is the company, okay, which was started by an ex-Googler called as Evan Williams. Okay, and he started the company as a podcasting company. Okay, to distribute the podcast, to be able to market the podcast for the different artists. But as he was getting near to the product completion, Apple came out with its own podcast, right? And since the Apple was really ahead in terms of the market share, okay, this guy had to kill his company because the podcasting will be completely driven by the Apple or the different app stores, right? So he couldn't make any progress on it, and these guys were really in dilemma in terms of what to do next, right? So they started something called as hackathons, okay, for their own employees, okay, and one of that employees' name was Jack Dorsey. Okay, so Jack's idea was, why don't we design an app, a system, or website so that you can send one SMS and it goes to a multiple group of friends, right? And that's when that idea was taken up, and then that was developed further to become what we know today as Twitter, right? So we can't imagine audio becoming a podcasting company to the texting company to the now social media platform. Right. Another such example in Indian context is nothing but ITC. Right. So ITC started in 1910 as Imperial Tobacco Company of India Limited. Right. That was pre-independence, and their objective was to manufacture the tobaccos and cigarettes. Right. But today, when you look at the ITC, it's completely transformed. There is no relationship with the original intent with which the ITC started. Even the tobacco products, even though they manufacture and they're one of the largest cigarette manufacturing company in India, right? Still, the tobaccos or the cigarettes don't even feature into their own self-image, brand image of ITC. They even changed their name to just ITC Limited, and that's about it. There is no full form of ITC now, right? So a lot of these business transformation stories are all around us, right? But when this transformation is driven by the digital technologies, okay, that's where the digital transformation comes into picture. Okay, it's all about how do you empower our employees, how do you give them the more decision making tools that they need, okay, in order to be more efficient. How do you engage with your customer? It's all about the customer journey, user journey. That do you understand your customer not only from the moment they walk into your store, not only when they walk into or visit your website, but even their pre-visit or pre-purchase journey as well, right? So that's about engaging with your customer. How do you optimize your operation? Of course, efficiency is the most critical aspect for any business, right? So how do you optimize your operations using the digital technologies? Right? And finally, how do you transform your products or services into something that is more desirable to the customer, something that is more efficient, or the services that has a moat around them. Okay, so that's about the digital transformation. So if you want to see some of the examples of digital transformation, okay, let's see a couple of case studies. Okay. Okay, give me a moment. Okay, so let's look at some of the case studies. Okay, in terms of the company that have done the digital transformation successfully. Okay, or at least they are on the path to do it successfully, right? So I recently bought a home, right? And then as for every home buyer, okay, it takes a lot of time to do the interior work, to work with the interior designer, right? Select the laminate, select the colors, and etc. Right? And I have been, visiting this Marino Laminates website, okay, quite often, right? So they have this visualizer in their website where you can choose the different combinations of the colors, and then you can literally look at how your house is going to be, okay, when you use a different laminates that they have. Now, a laminate company, okay, 10 years back, you may not have ever imagined that they'll have such a heavy digital presence. Right. Another good example is IndusInd Bank. Okay, so IndusInd Bank has an offering called as On the Go. Okay, so literally you can connect with them on the Twitter and Facebook, and using certain predefined hashtags, you can literally do the transactions, transfer, check your balance, make the transfers and stuff like that. Right. Not even a need to open their own app. It's all on your social app, because that's where you are spending most of the time, right? So that's another example. And if you look around, you'll see a lot of such examples right in India, right? Be it Asian Paints, who have drastically changed the way the paint industry works, right? So not every paint has to be manufactured and shipped to the dealer and distributor and to the end store, right? Rather, they came up with this amazing innovation with the mixing machines. So you only manufacture a certain set of paints and ship those to the last store, and the store is going to be the last, say, manufacturing facility for you, where you can exactly manufacture the 2200 sheets that the customers need, right? But you have greatly simplified your entire supply chain, okay, with this kind of innovations. Okay, same with the Kotak and IRCTC, and a lot of such examples in India, right? So now, if digital transformation is taking over almost every sector, okay, what are the factors? What are the forces that are driving this digital transformation? Right. So first and foremost thing is for the millennial customer, and not only millennial customer, even the customers who have no internet access, no say only partial education, or probably even no education at all, are the ones who are expecting the digital services from the companies, right? So someone who has never used a computer is able to use your mobile phone. Someone who has never sent an email is able to use your WhatsApp and the Android devices, right? So all of those customers are now expecting, okay, digital to be the primary mode of you know relationship with the businesses and the enterprise, right? Second one, and probably most important one, that has accelerated the digital transformation is nothing but the COVID-19 pandemic. Okay, and I would like to stress on the global part of it, because had this been a pandemic in a country or in a region, okay, we may not have seen such a huge common drive towards digital collaboration, okay, across the world, right? So, in fact, as Satya Nadella said, Microsoft, and this was in last year April, which was like 2 years, 2 months in the pandemic, and then that time he described the all the digital transformation he was seeing, and the Microsoft was helping its customer, right? He mentioned that he has seen the 2 years worth of digital transformation within 2 months. Okay, that was like last year. Now we are already nearly 2 years in the pandemic. Okay, so we have seen much more activity towards the digital transformation across the board. Another driving factor is the changes in the customer expectations, right? So customers now expect the businesses to be more digital, more real time, right? And then their expectations to only work within the store timings or the factory timings or even the bank timings have all been changed, right? So they want the same exact same omni-channel experience that they will get in the store, okay, online as well, or on your digital channels as well, right? The an important factor is the employee empowerment. So if you see, you and I, we are used to the weekend experience, Sunday experience, I will call it, right? In using the WhatsApps and the Facebooks and the Twitters and the consumer world applications that are vying for our attention, that are actually doing everything in the world to make sure our experience is improved over time, right? So now, when you go to the office on Monday, we want to deal with the applications that look like tables and tables of the data with the very difficult navigations and user experience. Probably not, right? So even the employees desire to have the same Sunday experience on Monday is also driving a lot of digital transformation in the enterprise world. Okay, and finally, the operational efficiency is definitely a factor, okay, to go digital. Okay, again, it's not digitization, but even transforming some of your business processes, okay, with the digital technologies. Okay.
Happy Saturday, okay.
Okay, now another important thing that is currently happening in the market, that when you and I talk about the product management, most of the time we think about the technology companies being the key market for the product management, right? So be it Ubers or be it digital first companies like Twitters and Amazons and whatnot, right? But now the non-technology companies across the world, India, US, or Europe, anywhere you go, the traditional non-technology companies are now playing the digital catch-up game, and they're actually doing a lot better when it comes to adapting to the digital technologies. A good example is Walmart, right? So Walmart not only became so good at the digital technologies, not only for e-commerce websites or anything that is consumer facing, but also they have revamped the entire supply chain, right from the planning to the execution to the customer experience, that now Amazon is being forced to come into the physical world, right, to buy the whole food or go with the Amazon Go stores, right? So and in India as well, if you see, a lot of these traditional companies are going to be a big opportunity area for product management in order to transform their businesses with the digital technologies. And there are some stats globally. The digital transformation market will go with a CAGR of 16.5% from now on till 2025. While in APAC, the the expenditure or the growth will be slightly higher to 20.1%, right? And India and China being the engines of the APAC growth, a lot of that investment, a lot of that opportunity will show up in India as well. And what are the industries that are, that are rapidly getting digitized, rapidly getting onto this journey? We already know banking, healthcare, education. A lot of our, the next generation is now online, and they know going through Byju's classes and their online schools and stuff like that, right? Media and entertainment, we see n number of the streaming apps that are being flooded during this pandemic time. In fact, I myself haven't had the cable connection for 2 years now. Okay, and then I don't even miss it, right? Because there are be it Hotstar, or be it Amazon Prime, or be it Netflix. A lot of the contents that I need is available to me at the time I need it, right? So it's it's just one another area where the digital transformation has taken a all new avatar of itself, right? However, having said that, there are a lot of the other industries which are not as mature or as tech savvy, okay, as they should be, right? Retail being a good example. Retail, manufacturing, government, right? Transportation and logistics. So these are the industries which have begun their journey towards the being more digital, being more at the forefront of the technology, or using the technology for their operations. But these are the areas which will open up more, and we'll see a lot of activity in these areas for us to make a difference. Okay. So now we know what is the digital transformation, and we also know what is driving it, what are the industries that are right for the digital transformation, particularly in India, right? So now let's look at how do we see a product leader playing a role in or leading this digital transformation, right? So first, what are the changes in the mindset, or what are the skills that we need in order to be part of this journey? Okay, so first and foremost is like few of you, I also come from the project background, right? So I have done the technology development, consulting, project management, and then finally I moved into the product management role, right? So first and foremost for many of us is to change in the mindset. How do you change your project-oriented mindset, where we have the fixed budget, fixed schedule, fixed objectives, requirements that are frozen a lot ahead of time, right? So how do you change that project-oriented mindset into the product-oriented mindset? Because product is kind of enduring; it has multiple projects of its own over the period of the product's life cycle, right? So there are lot of these factors that I wanted to highlight. Now, in the interest of time, I may not want to go into each of these factors, but the key one being here that as a product manager, okay, we need to be more focus on the long-term business outcomes. Okay, how much value we add to the business over achieving the particular objective as a project's objective on time and on budget. Okay. So that's first, first thing we need to take care of. Second one is how do you focus more on the customers, right? So digital transformation is more about a customer delight, more about customers' happiness than it is about the technology. It's not about standing up a website. It's not about standing up an app, or it's not about starting an e-commerce, e-commerce channel for you, right? But instead, it's about how do you take the technology and really delight your customers. So, as the Mark Benioff of Salesforce says, every digital transformation is going to begin and end with the customer, right? And that's the ultimate goal. As a product manager, you are an advocate for the customer. You have to keep the customer in mind right from the beginning all the way to the end, and along the way. Okay. So as I mentioned, in this particular sector, when we talk about the digital transformation, Okay, customer is nothing but user or the customer. Okay, and then as a product manager, you not only know the customer, but you need to also know the domain. If you are going for a digital transformation initiative for a pharmaceutical company, you better know something about the pharmaceutical. If you're going for a financial institution like ICICI, right? You better know something about the banking, right? You need not to be an expert in the domain, but you need to know enough to understand your customers, right? Same about the technology as well. You need not to be the best of the technologies out there, right? But you need to know the technology just enough to know how much.
24 मैं भी यही बोल रहा था.
Sorry. Okay, so you need to know the technology at least enough to know what are the possibilities it offers to your journey as a product manager. All right, and of course you need to know your revenues, what are the key metrics for your business, okay, and then know what are your objectives, right? So you need to know the business for sure, right? So as a product manager, okay, you can actually be in the middle of the a lot of these digital transformation initiatives that are being undertaken by a lot of these traditional companies today. Right. So that was first shift from the project to the product mindset. Second one was focus on the customer. I mean, being like obsessive about the customer delight. And the third one that as a product manager we need to do, we need to have is the data-driven decision-making skills, right? So today you have data, or you can collect the data for your own applications, your own initiatives, your own business processes from multiple channels, right? How do you leverage that data, okay, throughout the product lifecycle, be it a discovery of the feature functions of the product, be it a road mapping, be it how do you go to the market with the feature, how do you onboard a user or the customer, right? Throughout the lifecycle, you need to keep the data in your mind and then derive the insights that will help you at different stages of the product lifecycle, right? However, one of the things that we have to be careful about is how do you balance hard data, okay, with your own instinct, right? So beware of your confirmation bias that hey, I think the feature X is going to be more meaningful for the users, and then you go around trying to find out the data that supports your own bias, right? So be aware of it. In fact, as Jeff Bezos says, most of the right decisions he made, both in the professional and the personal life, have been driven more by his instinct and less by the data, right? So data is important, but it's not all about the data, right? Then as a product manager, the key that you need to know is what metrics matter to your business, right? So you're looking at the data, but what insights you draw from the data, it depends on the metrics that matter to your own business, your own product, right? And of course, those metrics depend on a lot of variables, be it a company type, industry, stage of the product, right? Or even organization's own goals as well, right? So you want to grow the company, or you want to compete with the competition, or you want to just go into the newer innovation areas, right? So a lot of those factors play into the selection of the metrics that matter for your own product, okay? But out of these metrics, you need to have at least one North Star metric, okay? So that's the guiding star for you. So be it employee user retention or user acquisition, or be it net promoter score, whatever it is, right? You need to have one metric that is your guiding principle throughout. So you should never ever lose the sight of that metric, okay? So what are some of the skills you need, okay, for the data-driven decision making? Okay, you of course need to be able to interpret the data. You need to be able to dive into the data and be aware of some of the statistical methods, right? Be it multivariate regression or linear regression, right? You need to be able to have those statistical background, but at the same time, you need to be able to draw the insights and then really be able to tell the story to your team, okay? That the direction that you want the team to go, you need to be able to support that direction, tell that story using the data, right? So that's really important as a product manager. And then especially in the digital transformation journey, when you are talking to non-techie people, like be it sales team, operations team, marketing team, right? In the traditional companies. So you need to be able to really, get those insights from the data and be able to communicate to the people who don't really understand the technology, right? And final and the fourth, as I emphasized in the previous slide, is to encourage to have a leap of faith decisions, right? Even if the data is not enough, even if the data probably is ambiguous, you should be able to have the conviction, okay, to go and make the decisions, okay, product decisions, based on your own instinct as well, right? And that instinct comes from you understanding the domain, you understanding the technology, and you understanding the business. Okay. And finally, apart from the previous point that I mentioned, another important aspect for the product leader is to be able to experiment. Okay, experiment with the products, experiment with the feature functions, right? And then try out different ideas to be able to get to the right idea, right? So we may not have to go through the entire process as part of this session, but let's quickly talk about some of the techniques you can use, okay, for the experimentation. A/B test, most of you must be aware of the A/B testing, where you assign the randomly assign the users to one or the other experiment, right? And then see their outcomes. And when the A/B test is done with multiple variables, okay, it becomes your multivariate testing, right? So instead of only one variable, you are changing multiple variables and trying to find out what's the best experience for the user, right? Same thing with the funnel experiments as well, right? So in this case, you're not only looking at, say, a finite set of variables, but rather you're looking at the user's journey, be it, say, a checkout journey, for example, when you're on an e-commerce website, right? Or it could also be the time lapse as well, to see, okay, how the benchmarks of key KPIs, okay, compare over a period of time. Okay. So those are the key aspects of the product leader, okay, to lead the digital transformation. But the most important one is how do you build the right team, okay? And now, as I mentioned, when you are in these traditional companies, okay, or even in the technology companies, the key being is building the cross-functional team, okay, that rallies around the product, okay, and is hyper focused, super focused on the customer. Okay, that's the only thing that matters. You eat, sleep, die with the customer, right? So that's what the entire team needs to do. The skills for this kind of team matter, include data-driven mindset, of course, right? The passion and the collaboration and the empathy for the customer. Okay, and yeah, I think I'll skip the how do you take the buy-in from the highest levels, right? But the key is your team has to be with you as a product manager, okay? And they should be convinced, they should be equally passionate and they empathetic to the customer and the user. Okay. Okay, so that's all I wanted to cover. Okay, I think I'm 5 minutes over, I believe, right? But to just re-emphasize, as a product leader, you need to shift your mindset from project to the product, right? You need to be able to, super focus on the customer. Okay, start and end everything with the customer. Make the data-driven decisions, right? Experiment a lot, fail a lot, and learn from those experiments, and finally build the right team, okay, to rally for your vision and your strategy for the product. Okay, and finally, as I mentioned, okay, I'm an avid reader, okay, and I would like to just recommend few of the books for you guys as well, just for your future reference if you want to just go and learn more about the product management from some of the best authors out there. Okay, so with that, I'll stop sharing the screen. If you